Hello everybody, welcome back to Kanushi's Corner. Today I have this two-player starter set, Cloud versus Sephiroth, for the Final Fantasy trading card game that I'm going to be unboxing and showing off, we're going to be talking about. So currently, this thing, I saw it on TCG Player for around 65, eBay for 70 to 80. It's a couple years old now. Of course, Cloud and Sephiroth, it's a tough world out there because everybody likes Final Fantasy VII and trading card game stuff. Where I got this one from was Ozzie Collectables. They're a really cool store in Australia. They had a really great deal on it where I didn't have to pay those prices. It was like closer to MSRP, I think like $25, $30 US, and then it was $15 shipping. So I got it around 40 after tax, and then it only took like a week to get here, which is really cool. They have a bunch of really great stuff on their website. They sent me this code, join Ozzy, all one word. I'll go ahead and flash that up on the screen. It gets you 10% off, something like that. Yeah, 10% off. Yeah, that's it. So that's really cool. Again, even if you're in the U.S., they have really fast shipping. I was impressed. I thought it would take way longer to get here. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and crack into it. It's just a really simple. It didn't come taped, though. I don't know. It's whatever. Saves me the time. Yeah, you open it up. You get the two decks. You get the instruction manual. If you've seen some of my other videos like this, you'll know it's pretty standard. The instruction manual tells you how to play the game, what the elements are. It tells you what the kinds of cards are, how to use the backups, what the different types of stats are, and on the other side it shows you your field zones, how the phases work. There's a stack, kind of like Magic, all that. It's a really cool game. There's various ways you can do attacks and all kind of fun stuff. So you get two of those, so you and a friend can read them and learn how to play, or you can buy one and then force one on your friend and make them learn how to play with you. Whatever you got to do. So got Cloud and Sephiroth here. I'm gonna save. Yeah, gotta save the favorite for last. So now it's my favorite game. Find and fight the cellophane. There it is. Oh, okay. That was a good one. Other than me knocking all my stuff over, that was a good one. So let's get this out of here. Now, historically, these are a little bit bricky. Yeah, most of them are. So you got to give them a little bit of a twist. Not too much though. Fan him out. All right, let's look at him. We got Cloud. He's a soldier, 5K. Tap him to put a category 7 forward into your break zone. Search for one forward, cost 1 crystal point more than the one you put in there, and you get to put that guy into play. So you get to upgrade your stuff. You can change your low drops for higher up stuff. We've got 3 Clouds here. Here's a Vincent. Oh man, what a character, right? One of my favorites. Good stuff. Vincent has a couple of special abilities there, one of which you can only activate if you've had damage 5, apparently. So to activate these, you have to discard. So if I wanted to activate this Vincent's ability, I'd have to pitch one from hand, as well as other costs. In this case, you just do that, or for this one, you have to have 5 or more damage. Be given first strike and an extra 1,000 power, and whenever he attacks, choose a dull forward and break it, or give him 3K, and when he attacks, choose any character and break it. Okay, yeah, it's pretty solid. This little cool little comeback mechanic. Here's another Vincent. This one EX bursts. So whenever you take damage and flip it, you do this, or when he comes out onto the field as normal. So when he enters, you may search for one card named Vincent and add it to your hand, so then you can use this extra ability even easier. In this case, you're having to pay an earth mana for it. Okay, here's a wedge. That's actually really cool because it's the old school art. I love that. Whenever he enters, you may search for an avalanche forward and add it to your hand. Oh, nice. Here's the OG Jesse. The cost required to play your Cloud and Barrett's are reduced by 1. Oh man, If you saw my other video about Avalanche versus Shinra, oh, mixing these could be dangerous. The miners, these actually came in there. That's a pretty standard card. It's good to get you some stuff back. So is Marlene. She can return you cards from your break zone to your hand. Here's another Titan. These allow you to choose one of your things and one of your opponent's things, and they fight. Get 3 of those. Here's a Barrett. Barrett in red. Cool. This one also has EX burst. Whenever it enters, choose a forward your opponent controls. Deal it 1,000 for each category 7 character you control. If Barrett results from an EX burst, it deals 2,000 damage for each 7 you control instead. Cool. So he's already hurting people, and then you can hurt him more. Here's a red 13. That's a cool one. Look at him. Super vicious. I like the little in the back. Alright, anyway. If you control a category 7 forward other than him, he gains 1k haste and first strike already at 8k. So that's good. He should be dangerous. This is a really nice 4k hasty Tifa. Yeah, got a few of those in the other one. This Zack's also pretty good. Whenever he or fire forward enters, you can deal 2,000 damage to something. Whenever Zack or fire forward enters your field, choose one forward your opponent controls, deal 2,000 to it. Or same thing, but with category 7. So 3 of those. Soldier 3rd class. First strikey. You can search for more soldier 3rd classes. Throat's a little dry. You drink some more water. Don't forget to drink water. It's good for you. Got some red mages here. You can turn off blockers with red mages. They're pretty good. Got some fiery black mages here. These allow you to, you can sack them and blow up stuff. There's some focus issues, man. Gonna have to fix that. I will one day get a new camera. If you would like to help with that, feel free to donate in the link below. Thank you for watching too. Really appreciate it. Even liking, subscribing, all that stuff, really. You know, it helps. Every little bit helps. Lets me feel like I'm doing the right thing. Even just viewing, you know, even that. Really appreciate it. Whenever this enters, you choose one forward, it gains haste. So that's a haste enabler on some of your things that don't have haste. This is a cool summon, Phoenix. Choose up to one forward of cost 2 or less in your break zone. Play it onto the field. Deal 2,000 damage to all the forwards your opponent controls. It's nice. And here's some light cards. These are Aerith. Whenever it enters the battlefield, choose up to 2 category 7 characters in your break zone, other than Aerith. Add them to your hand. So she gets you back, people. Good. As she should. You can also tap one. You use a mana of any color and tap her. Put her in your break zone and either choose a category 7 forward, dull it. It gains, it cannot be broken. Or choose a dark forward and break it. Interesting. It's probably some counterplay for the Sephiroth deck. Well, that was this one. Give me a second, I'm going to go get some water, and then we'll break into this guy. Alrighty, so, on to the other one. We got Sephiroth here. Fun stuff. How can I fare with the cellophane test? Come on. Break. Nope. Snapped. Oh, man. Okay. Come on. Well, looks like this one's going to be a struggle. Just got to kind of slowly peel it. Alright, there we go. Got it. Throw all that up there. Also a brick. A little bit warped. One coming off the front. It's okay. We'll give it the old... Give it the old fan out. Alright. Here's that. Sephiroth, do. You got 3 of that bad boy. It's looking good. Whenever he attacks, dull all the forwards your opponent controls with 8k power or less. At the end of each of your turns, you have to remove 3 cards from your break zone from the game, or you have to put him into your break zone. So he is a 3-cost 9k powerhouse, but be careful. Yeah, be careful, because he can break himself pretty good. Azul, whenever he is dealt damage, choose one forward opponent controls, deal it 1,000 damage. If you're damage 3, he gains. When he is dealt damage, choose one forward opponent controls, deal it 2k. Kind of just scales up from there. The damage 5. That's cool. You get 2 of him. Angel of Penance. So It is also an angel as well in all situations, so you get the double card name type on it. And whenever it deals damage to your opponent, choose one damage forward and break it. Interesting. That is an interesting card. Okay, we got some lightning red mages here. These are haste enablers. This thing called a restrictor. It's a soldier from Final Fantasy VII. Whenever it enters, you may search for a Svites and add it to your hand. I was told that's how you say that. Oh, we got a Reno. He's a member of the Turks. You can tap him, put him into the break zone, choose an active forward, deal it 3k, or discard a Reno, choose a forward, and dull it. That's pretty solid. Reeve, the commissioner. Whenever he enters the battlefield, you may search for a Vincent or a Kate Sith, add it to your hand. It's cool. Ramu summon, really nice. You can choose one forward. It loses 7,000 power until end of turn. If he results from an EX burst, it loses 8k instead. I like the summons doing more when they... the summons doing more when they EX burst. There's an Ice Don Corneo. It's... oh, like this big face in the background. It's so silly. Okay. You can tap him to put the top 2 cards of your deck into the break zone, choose a forward and dull it. You can do the tap him and mill yourself 7 to choose a dull forward and break it. And you can do 15 to choose a forward, gain control of it as long as he is on the field. That's rough. Here's a Kate Sith. Whenever it enters the battlefield, your opponent reveals their hand. You may select a card in their hand other than a backup. If you do, remove it from game and they draw a card. Okay, so it's a little bit of hand destruction. DGS Trooper First Class. Ice Job Standard Forwards gain an extra 2k, so that's cool. He helps you got 3 of those. Deep Ground Soldier, some legs. Quite the outfit. This is a standard job unit. Whenever it enters, you may search for one card named DGS Trooper First Class and add it to your hand. So this one tutors this one, and this one boosts this one. So that's neat. And this one. When this enters, you may search for a Deep Ground Soldier of cost 3 and add it to your hand. I guess that means your deck. Doesn't say, hey, and here's another Sephiroth. That's pretty cool. War Hero, 6k base attack. He has back attack. That means that you can summon him out of turn. So you can summon him on your opponent's turn as an unexpected blocker. Whenever he enters, you get to dull a forward. And if you have 5 damage or more, he becomes an 8k instead. And then until end of turn, you can give him also an extra k in first strike with the draw slash ability. Got 3 of those. Some black mages. Tap. Put black mage into the break zone. Choose a dull forward. Deal it 4k. That's pretty solid. This black mage. Choose a dull forward. Deal it 2k. Alright, here's a Shiva summon. We're almost at the end. Okay. You can only cast Shiva during your turn. Choose up to 3 forwards or monsters. Dull and freeze them. Oh. The more I play this game, the more I like... more I'm liking the freeze mechanic. Alright, anyway, Kadaj. Here we go. We got a Remnant. Kadaj. He is your dark card. This is the, like, baby Sephiroth, offspring, whatever you want to call him. Whenever he enters, select one of the 3. You can either choose a forward and dull it, choose 2 cards from either break zone and remove them from game, or choose a forward and until end of turn it gets 2k and brave. At the end of each of your turns, you may remove him from the game, and if you do so, at the end of your opponent's turn, play him onto the field. So you can protect him and keep getting those enter the battlefield effects. So both of these look really, really neat. I'm looking forward to playing them. This is more in line with what I was wanting to experience over the Avalanche and Shinra. Don't get me wrong, Avalanche and Shinra is really strong, really cool, but this is what I was expecting deck-wise. It was a really cool shot of Aerith and Kadaj there. How that lines up. I really like that. Well, I'm going to go jam some games and get back to y'all and let y'all know what I think about the decks and how they perform and what I think about them. All right, cool. We'll get on to that. And we're back. Okay, so after a few games, let's start with the Cloud deck. Fancy Cloud here. So Cloud himself's pretty cool. What he does, you sacrifice the things from the field. You search for a thing that is 1 cost more, and you then put it on the field. He's pretty good for doing things like, get rid of Barrett, go into Zac. Get rid of Vincent, go into red 13. You can also get rid of the 4 drops to go into very specifically the 5 drop Vincent. This one, but he's okay. What he does, he tutors you out of Vincent, and you can give him an extra 4K power. Um, he's okay though. I prefer this one. We'll get to that in a bit. So Cloud's pretty cool. As a face card, he's pretty cool. Aerith, to my understanding, how she works, because when she enters, you get back 2 category 7 characters. So how we were playing it was you pay 2 for her cost, because that'll make you 4 mana. You summon her, you get those 2 back. That wasn't exactly how we always did it, or how I always played it. Sometimes I would get different stuff. Sometimes my spouse considered other options. They usually just bounced the same 2 back to hand. But her ability to break dark forwards, sacrificing herself, it was really good in locking down Kadaj in the other deck, because that is a dark card. It's kind of nice. Barrett is solid removal, really good. He comes out, he's going to deal 1k. If he was an EX burst, he does 2k per category 7 character you have on the field. That counts your backups as well. So these 2 effects are really just solid removal, plus you get a 7k body. Zach is it's removal, but a little better, because when he comes out, he's going to deal 4k, or whenever a fire or 7 character comes out, he deals 2k per whichever one of those is. So really, ideally, you get him out, then Barrett out, and you can really break a lot of stuff. It gives you good control. Titan kind of is that as well, because he is beefing one of your guys up, and then making them deal their power to something the opponent controls. So you've got some good field control there, some really strong presence on the field. Now we get into some of the good attackers that are going to help get you there in the end. Vincent here, this one's 7k, and then if you have high damage, he can do some really wacky things with breaking stuff. Otherwise, his ability just lets you dull things or not dull things. You choose already dull things and break them. So either way, he's going to be removing opponent's stuff and able to swing through. And also red 13, he's able to come out with haste and first strike if you control any other forward, basically, for how this deck is built. So this card is he is a monster. He's a really good attacker. The ability to be aggressive with it is very much so rewarded. After that, you have these utility backups here, and this forward can get you more of these forwards. It's a pretty good first strike body, but then you have some utility in blowing stuff up, making things unable to block, making things haste, and then Tifa is just a really good hasty 2-drop to get out. This is the only forward that works with Phoenix, so just figured I'd mention that. Phoenix, otherwise, I usually ditched it for mana. So did my spouse. That's just how we played it. And then you have a couple of tutor cards. We already went over that one. These 2. This one will get you only Barrett for how the deck is built, and then this one can get you anything back up from graveyard, and then you can sacrifice it to get a forward from graveyard back to hand. And that's pretty much it. It's a solid, got plenty of removal, solid graveyard recursion. This deck wants to be very aggro and very just swinging in, removing stuff, swinging in. Onto the Sephiroth one. This one's a little more control. I feel like you want to be a little more patient with it. The face Sephiroth himself, whenever he attacks, you dull all forwards with 8k power or less, so that's really good. You can shut down all your opponent's stuff, swing him in, and get some free damage, but you have to remove him unless you have 3 or more cards in your graveyard or break zone, as it's referenced here. So it can be a little stressful if you play this card too early. That's what happened in the first game we played, but thankfully there are ways to fill up your graveyard. I'll get to that in a second. The other version is really nice because it says back attack, which means you can play it on your opponent's turn. And so you wait until they pass, then you can, or even attack, and then you can play this out, dull one of their things, block one of their guys. And then he also has these great attacks, or great skills, where if you've taken a lot of damage, he'll just become even better. So both versions of Sephiroth have a lot of use for controlling the field, which is really nice. And then Kadaj here being your dark card, he can do a lot of stuff. You can remove cards from the break zone, which is really great against Aerith and the graveyard recursion of the other deck. He also allows you to just dull stuff, which is fantastic. And then you can also give something 2K and Brave, which means that you can swing it and then also have it up as a blocker. So it's a really good utility card. The first time it comes out, it's going to be able to do those things, but then it does this flicker thing where it'll go away and then come back at the end of the opponent's turn. So you got to be kind of careful with your timing and your effects to make sure he doesn't get broken by Aerith. But if you can make him stick, he can be a good card, especially because you're incentivized to swing it every turn. Now we get to the Don. Now to me, this is the if Red 13, I feel like is kind of the MVP of the other deck. Cloud does a good job. It definitely works better with him, but if Red 13 is the MVP of the other one, I think the Don is the MVP of this one. Without the Don, I don't think when you have this on the field, if you can get it to stick to the field, it really puts in a lot of work because you can put cards from deck into graveyard, which feeds the Sephiroth to remove stuff. And it also just it's some good effects. If you can make him stick to the field for 15 cards, you can just take your opponent's any monster, Red 13 preferably, because that should blow through most of everything else they have, as long as you can get him to stick to the field. So make sure you can protect him. Then you have the ability to just break dull forward. So, they swing? Okay, I will tap this guy, pull 7 off the top, put him in the break zone, and just bam, your guy's gone. Or at the very least, you can use him to dull stuff. That way they can't just swing at you. So the Don, he is a little weak, but he can do a good job of really just messing up the field. And even just him being there as a threat, the opponent has to play around him. So, protecting him good. Then we get into a little bit of removal. This is a really good blocker because the more damage you take, the more damage this can dish out. So that's really nice. Then we have Ramu. This is just going to zap something for a bunch. So this is a lot of your removal. Both of them have that. And then Shiva is special. You can only play this on your turn, so be aware of that. Otherwise, it is still summon speed. But you're going to be tapping everything and freezing it, so it kind of stuns it for a turn, which is it's useful, but not as useful as I thought it was at first. And then you just have some generally good blockers in the set of these 3 cards. They sort of tutor each other out, power each other up, and they kind of just become good chump defenders in the meantime as you wait and manipulate the field. If you end up trashing a lot of these to the Dawn, you should be able to get there anyway. Then you have this Angel here, kind of the same thing. It's just a hasty 7K body that can potentially break stuff and control the field. It's kind of nice. Then you got 2 tutors here. This one goes and gets the Azul. What was it? Yeah, the Azul, because he's the only Spite's job in this. So if you play this backup, expect to go get that guy unless you modify the deck. Kind of the same thing here with Reeve. You can either go pull a Vincent or a Kate Sith. In this case, you're only going to go get Kate Sith. The other backups offer some good, this one can dull a forward and deal it a bunch of damage. This one can make your stuff haste. Reno here can do stuff damage, or potentially if you have another one, he can dull you things. So a lot of the deck is tapping your opponent's stuff and swinging in, or being manipulative to tap it and then use the Dawn to break it, or here's another one, dull something, deal it 2K. And so we already went over the Angel. And here's the Kate Sith. This was also a fun card because you get to see what's in your opponent's hand, make them remove something other than a backup, and then they get to draw a card if you do that. So that's kind of nice. It was really cool. We had a lot of fun playing both of them. This one was definitely more mind games than the other one. The other one you kind of just want to get dudes out, attack, do good stuff. But I also enjoyed playing this one with having to decide what to tap, when to do stuff. They were both a lot of fun. If you enjoy Final Fantasy and you enjoy card games, you will probably enjoy these. Good luck finding them. Even the place I got them at, since I don't even think they have stock anymore, which is a shame. But they are fun. They're cool. Maybe buy the singles and build them. Do the price judging yourself, because the Cloud versus Sephiroth is a little more expensive than the others. But thanks for watching. If you liked it, be sure to drop a like, or let me know what you thought about the video in the comments. Thanks a lot for watching, and until next time, have a good one.